Welcome back everybody to Duck Hunting Tips for Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about changing it up. There's things that we do that are the norm, right? No matter where you are across the country, you hunt these specific ways when you're duck hunting, right? There may be little variations on depending on where we're at, but we still pretty much do the same thing. So I want to talk today about changing it up. Before we do, real quick, I want to mention I've got good news. We are back up on Facebook. I actually had to create a whole nother account. The link will be in the description below. Some of you I've seen already followed us and found us back on Facebook, so that's up. Here we go, changing it up. Okay, so number one, be mobile. Okay, not always, not all the time do we take out 3 dozen decoys and everything but the kitchen sink, right? But most of the time we do. We think in our minds, oh, a lot of decoys, a lot of birds working our spread. I want to tell you something I have learned over the years of duck hunting, and that is to be mobile. Go light. You know, not take so many decoys. Guys, honestly, I've taken as little as 6 decoys, throw it in my backpack, like just a smaller backpack where I can fit them in or hang them off of, and then throw in minimal stuff and carry my shotgun. Go out there somewhere that I've never been before. Maybe I'm seeing birds work and land over in this area. I go out there, I'm mobile. I don't have to carry and push the big cart. I don't gotta carry all of these decoys. The tip for today is be mobile, because sometimes you're out there and the birds don't want this spot and they don't want to work this spot. If you have 6 decoys, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, pick it up in literally 30 seconds and move, take off. But when you know it's going to take you 30 minutes to clean everything up and move out of the area, you're not as likely to do it. So that one will help you guys out a lot, I believe, this next coming duck season. Number 2, decoy spread. So on a decoy spread, a lot of duck hunters have their way they like them, right? Like when I go hunt with Travis, you set your decoys up this way, they kind of want to set them up this way. You got it, just, I guess in your mind you have different mental pictures of how you think it should be. Some people like the J, put your decoys in the J shape. Some like the X, some like the Y. However it is, everybody's different. No one way is right or wrong. But when you set your decoys up, don't be afraid to move them. There's been times I've been out there hunting, I'm like, man, these birds aren't coming in, they're not working, what's the deal here? And you'll go out there, change 1 or 2 decoys, change the position of it, and boom, it's working. So you gotta be able to change it up, guys. You can't think, well, this is a J, I always hunt with the J, or I always hunt with the decoys in an X pattern, or I always hunt with them in the Y pattern. Guys, change it up. It could be the difference in you killing more ducks. Number 3, positioning. We're out in the blind. I'm in the tulies, I'm sitting right here, I got my decoys right here, the wind's out my back, everything's set up right? Maybe we notice that the birds keep on swinging outside. Is that the mojo scaring them off? Is it the decoys? Is there something wrong in the spread? Change it up. I'm gonna say that phrase over and over again in this video. 2 years ago, I don't have this on video because I didn't even start recording the hunts till last year. I took my brother Thomas. Guys, that day, I will never forget that day. It was a phenomenal, awesome day. We killed a good variety of birds. I wish I would have had a video. We go out there and the sun's just rising, so the wind's perfect, it's right in their face, but they keep swinging out just like out of reach. I mean, like just right there, and you're like, man, if it was just 10 yards closer, I could take a shot. And they were swinging in the same spot every time, swinging right in that same spot. And I told Thomas, I said, dude, let's move right there. If we move 15 yards over there, we are gonna crush them, because we hadn't even shot any ducks yet. I mean, literally, as soon as we moved, we started crushing ducks, widgeon, mallard, teal. So I'm telling you guys, it's worth it to change it up. Change up the thinking, change it up how you do. If you see the birds pivoting around the spot over and over again, there's a reason, guys. Maybe it is something that they're kind of flaring off of, but use that to your advantage. Instead of removing everything, then trying to figure out where they're gonna work around, move to that spot. And I mean, they were literally coming right in our face. Tip number 4 for changing it up is keep hunting when everybody else leaves. One of the things is, and this is a tradition I think all across the board, most people will go out early in the morning, they hunt as the sun rises. Once it hits that 10, 11 o'clock mark, 12 o'clock mark, people start getting hungry. I can't tell you how many times on hunting on a refuge I have seen, you could see hunters walking out across the banks, headed back to the parking lot, ready to leave. I'm not kidding you, no sooner, within 30 minutes of that happening, I've seen pintails and mallards and ducks just start working like crazy. So change it up. Stay out there longer than everybody else. Bring some food, bring some snacks, you know. Sometimes we get too caught up in the hunt and we don't think about food, and part of the reason I think a lot of us leave is because we start getting hungry, right? So stay out there in that midday, that mid-noon to 1 o'clock time when usually everything slows down. A lot of times I've seen the birds start working like crazy then. Tip number 5 and last tip for today on changing it up is Small decoy spread. I kind of mentioned earlier in this part of the video, doing a small decoy spread, guys, people think we gotta have a lot of decoys. I've thought that myself too. More decoys, more birds, right? Not always true. So we get caught in that mentality that we gotta have a big decoy spread. But guys, you can go out there with 6 decoys. I got a video right here that you guys can watch where we moved. We were shooting teal, but not a lot, not like crazy or anything. But we moved, we left all our decoys back because we seen the birds going over this one clump of tulies over and over and over again. And we're like, guys, why are we gonna just sit here and watch these birds fly when they're not coming to us? We left our decoys, we jammed over there across the pond, and boom, we all limited out on teal. So, do you need decoys? I've had comments below in our videos, where's the decoys at? Why are you guys not calling? Guys, change it up. Don't get stuck in this mentality. I gotta call all the time. People are like, oh, you don't call on your videos. Dude, trust me. We call all the time. I just don't put it on there because I don't think everybody has a need to hear me blow a duck call. I think you guys know what a duck call sounds like. Change it up. Change the thinking. Don't get stuck in a rut. Don't get stuck. Well, this is what Ducks Unlimited says to do. This is what Drake Waterfowl says to do. We're adults here. We're grown-ups. We're smart enough to figure things out and say, hey, we got to realize that we've got to adapt to the situation, the weather, the wind. All these things play into it, guys. So don't be afraid this next duck season to change things up and do things that are in the norm. I'm telling you guys right now, on a clear, calm day when there's no movement on water, you don't have a jerk string to make movement. Honestly, guys, you might be better off throwing your decoys in the tulies and just blow your call. I know that sounds insane, but I've done it. I've seen it happen. Don't be afraid to try something new because it will pay off. So thanks for joining us today. I got some really good tips for you next week. I kind of was having a hard time deciding which tip I wanted to do today. But today, we talked about changing it up. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Don't forget to follow us now on the new Facebook. That's up. It's still Mid-Valley Mercenaries. I'll put the new link in the description below. If you thought you've already followed us, you have to refollow us again. Sorry, guys, about that. So, appreciate you guys being with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Sorry, you guys... This squeaky table is driving me nuts. Every time we put my arm down. Everything. So, sometimes go out there with Hello? Yeah, so a better waterfowl.